read incredible stories from baseball players and their call to the major league.
Yes, Cody's Caravan is live in Placerville learning more from the author himself from the most amazing field. Cody, what's going on?
Yes, this is amazing. So Zach's right there. Zach wrote this incredible book of getting called up, and I said, Zach, we should go to a baseball park and, just toss the ball back and forth and talk about the book. And he's like, well, we could do that, or we could come here to Placerville to Little Fenway West, where Dennis has built Fenway Park.
That's incredible.
A miniature version, a 25% miniature version of Fenway Park, where we hold wiffle ball tournaments to raise money for charitable causes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so we're at home plate right now.
Yep.
This was at Fenway.
This is game used. All the bases, pitcher's mound, and the the Green Monster seats are all sourced from the Red Sox.
Okay, I just hit a single. Let's go to first base. Right. Let's go to first base because we got to tell the story about first base. Now, once again, all this stuff was in Fenway Park, and he can tell you exactly what happened on this base at a certain date.
Yeah, a ball player, you might have heard of him, named Mike Trout, hit a double against the Red Sox at Fenway Park and actually stood on this base. So there's always a backstory with everything here. So really good stuff.
Okay, so that's first base. Let's go. We got to keep going. Oh wow, I'm really smoking it, man. I'm going. Woo! All right. So what game was this? This one?
What do we got? We've got the Devil Rays. Well, now just the Rays. They were called the Devil Rays when they first became a franchise. So the Tampa Bay game, and they actually have the dates on them. I can't see it from here exactly, but.
Says 2016, July 8th to the 10th, 2016.
There you go. So you can pull the box score and see actually what happened and who stood on that base.
That is so cool. Oh, we're making it to third base. Boy, I had a triple. Okay, we're getting to third base. We're around the corner here. And we landed on, it's Boston versus Chicago, June 20th, 2016.
There we go. Again, I'm not sure what the box score was on this one because I'm a big Trout fan, but you can look that up and see actually who touched that base, what major league players.
That is incredible. There's a beer garden in the outfield.
Yep.
Now, where did that come from?
So we built the beer garden to be able to host a larger group of people, and we actually imported the beer garden tables from Germany. So those are authentic beer garden. You don't have to go to Germany. You don't have to go to Boston. You just come here.
It's so fantastic. You got the Green Monster, and of course the sit-go sign, right. Very famous when you're watching the game.
Yeah, so that is came out of a gas station in the New England states, and we brought it here, and then we had a post built. We did the angle and everything to try to replicate it as close as possible to the authentic. But if you notice on the scoreboard, Red Sox are beating the Yankees.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, it's a good day.
Absolutely.
The Yankees.
Exactly.
Anytime that happens, it's a good day. Now, you've been raising a lot of money using this field, so tell us a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so we let any charitable group who wants to use the field and put on a fundraiser, we allow them. Boy Scouts have been up here a number of years. They host their bridging ceremony, which is where Cub Scouts become Boy Scouts by building a rope bridge over one of our creeks. And then they got to walk across that bridge. So it's kind of a boy to man thing. It's pretty cool. Keaton's Child Cancer Alliance is near and dear to our hearts, and we host an annual wiffle ball charity tournament here and raise money. Just any good cause, we're willing to let people use the field and the property.
That is awesome. This is just a little tiny snippet of what he has out here, so we're going to show you around. And plus, the reason we came out here was Zach, so we got to talk to Zach coming up about the book. Back to you guys.
Hey, Zach. I love this because if you haven't been to Fenway Park, this is such a great replica. You could just see this and feel like you're right there. Cody, thank you.
This is amazing, Little Fenway West. This is Zak Ford. Zach, you wrote this great book. What's it called again?
Called Up. Ballplayers remember becoming major leaguers.
So, you're a big baseball fan, clearly.
Pretty big nerd, yeah.
But what was the idea behind this?
Well, I've always been more interested in human interest stories. A lot of the trend now with baseball is kind of statistics and academic style research, but I've always been interested in stories that humanize players. So I figured, what better way to do that than capture the feelings and emotions of becoming a major leaguer and fulfilling that dream all of us had when we were kids.
Exactly, exactly. And it is a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster because, like, all the stories in there, they're all, like these things. You're like, so how did you get access to all these players? Because there's over 100 that you talked to.
Well, there's many different ways. I had some friends that provided me with some contacts, but the vast majority, I'd say half to 2/3, are from social media.
Oh, okay.
I'd search Twitter or Facebook and put like MLB alum or former major leaguer or something like that, and a lot of them would have them in the bio. And after you follow a few on Twitter or you become friends with a few, the Facebook algorithms start acting up and you end up with more and more. And I just kind of grew the network from there.
That's fantastic. Okay, so give us some stories. I'm using a Bob Grinch glove right now.
Yeah.
You got a story about Bob?
I do have a story about Bob. Bob Grinch actually was playing for Rochester, 1970, having a great season, get called up to the Baltimore Orioles, reports to Memorial Stadium, and Earl Weaver, who's known as very warm and fuzzy, I'm being sarcastic, but he had a manager's office right before the clubhouse. Bob Grinch sees it's cracked open. He knocks on the door, says, hi, my name is Bob Grinch. I'm here to report for my first day in the major leagues. Earl Weaver looks up and says, do you have anything else to tell me? Doesn't get up, shake his hand, anything. That's just the way Earl Weaver was. He was not a warm and fuzzy guy. So,
not at all.
But he ends up making the bus ride over to Washington. He faces a guy for his major league debut by the name of Casey Cox, who went to the same high school as him, but just had graduated a few years before. He didn't get a hit, but he got a walk in that game. The next day, there's a cake waiting for him in the Orioles clubhouse that says, "Welcome to Baltimore, Bobby."
Oh.
Frank Robinson, the Hall of Famer, comes in and says, who bakes a cake for somebody that gets a walk? You didn't do anything last night. So one of the guys says, hey, there's something about this cake doesn't smell right.
Oh, no.
Can you take it, take a sniff? And he kind of picked up on it that they were going to smash his head in. But he backed away and didn't fall victim to the prank, but he said that from there on out, he was in on the joke each time a rookie got called up.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's just one of the many tales that you'll hear in this book. I'm telling you, it is a fantastic book. If you have anybody in your life that's into baseball, you've got to get this book. Oh, where can they find it?
They could go to calledupproject.com. I have many different ordering options there. McFarland is the publisher. But if you do a Google search for Called Up and Zak Ford, you're going to be able to find it.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, more from Little Fenway West and Zak Ford and Dennis and the whole gang coming up. Back to you guys.
How cool is that? I can't believe he built that himself.
I know, but I'm also just thinking about how cool for Cody just to be playing baseball
right?
in such a cool space all morning long.
It's right up his alley.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. You got it.
Enjoy.
And welcome back. Cody's Caravan live in Placerville. We're in a rain delay for baseball right now. Had a little bit of rain.
We are slight, but we're good. We're safe inside here.
We're safe inside. You said, want to go into the house for a little bit? And I was like, why, yes. Yes, I would, Dennis. Yes, I would. So what is this? What was this?
So this is an old modified A-frame house that I was able, my passions in life in terms of collecting are baseball, obviously, and also mid-century modern, which is 1950s, 1960s. And I have I'm a kid of the late 60s, early 70s, and my favorite show growing up was The Brady Bunch. And so one of the things that I did when I designed the interior of this house was to replicate the Brady Bunch staircase.
Oh, Courtney, are you paying attention? Oh, Courtney.
Oh my gosh, it's the Brady house. Shut your face.
It is.
That is amazing.
So you actually have people come out and they take their photos and raise money for charity and stuff, right?
We do. We have people do their Christmas cards as they line up their family, like, Peter, Tom, all the kids, and we, say donate something to Keaton's Child Cancer Alliance, our favorite charity.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Okay, let's go upstairs because this place is so decked out, so spectacular. Here's the story of a guy named Cody walking up the stairs on his own. Okay, so this upstairs area over here, as Sean comes on up, this couch, if I wasn't married, I would get down on a knee and propose to it.
It's 1960s. Adrian Pearsall was the designer. It's called the Serpentine for obvious reasons. And yeah, we can see 8 to 10 people there. And
That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Okay, but we got to show them the really cool thing. So you were telling us about this TV setup thing that you had here in the kids' room, and Sean goes, "Oh, I saw this in a magazine one time, and this was the actual thing that Sean saw in the magazine."
Right. This came out of Boise, Idaho. It's a circa 1960 display that was in an old radio and TV shop, and then I was able to source it out of Palm Springs from a dealer and incorporate it into my kid's bedroom up here.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great. You are now my hero. You're my favorite person, man.
Well, the TV's pretty cool, too. That's an actual smart TV, and we had a custom cabinet built to replicate a 1960s TV.
So cool. Well, guess what? The rain stopped. We'll go play some more baseball.
Let's do it.
The rain delay is over. We're going to talk to Zack Ford about his fantastic baseball book coming up in just a bit. Back to you guys. Isn't this incredible?
Yeah, everyone, Cody, freaked out the moment they saw the Brady Bunch stairs.
Those
Thank
are
you so much.
amazing.
Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, I have the best day ever. This is so good. Matter of fact, I'd like to tell my bosses that they don't have to pay me today because I've had.
Don't say that.
Forget that. Never
Don't say
mind,
that.
Never mind. Little Fenway West in Placerville. This is Zack Ford, and this is why we're here. Zack wrote this incredible book called Called Up. It's all about being a Major League Baseball player and the stories about how they got there. So we just had some rain. Is there any rain delay, rain stories?
Yeah, there was actually one that we were thinking of. Scott Spezio, who's actually probably responsible for my most depressing moment as a baseball fan, since he's a 2002 Angels World Series hero against my Giants. But he was called up to the Oakland A's in 1996. And he gets back to the hotel at the end of the playoff game, and he sees his phone ringing and picks it up, and somebody on the other end says, "Hey, this is Jonesy. You have to go to the airport." And he thought it was some of his teammates messing around with him. It's like, "No, it's just Jonesy, your manager. You got to get to the airport." So he gets to the airport, goes to Cleveland for his Major League debut, and it's raining in Cleveland.
Oh.
And not only that, but baseball players, and Scott Spezio especially, a little superstitious.
Oh, yeah.
And he
Legendary.
walks in the clubhouse, he notices he has number 13. So he's like, I'm not too crazy about that. But ultimately, the game ended up being rained out.
Oh, so you get called up.
Rained
His first
out.
game
He was
rained
able
out.
to change the number for the next day. He got into a game the next day. And one of the funny things, too, about Scott Spezio's story is he did get a hit in that game. And he gets back to the dugout, and it's his first Major League hit, or so he thinks. And it has chicken scratch, names misspelled as far as, who he hit it off of. His name's misspelled. And they actually have him go out and play third base for at least an inning or two before they come clean and say, "Hey, that's not really the ball. We're going to give you we're going to clean it up for you."
Boys will be boys, man. Boys will be
Yeah.
boys. Is there a story in there? We got about a minute left. Give me a 1 minute, one of your favorite stories in there.
Well, Jaw Leach coming up with the Giants in 2001. He had spent 12 years in the big leagues. He goes back for the last game in Fresno. All the September call-ups have happened, but after the game, manager calls him in the office and says, "Hey, man, you missed a sign today." He's like, "This is the last game of the season. You got to be kidding me. You're going to call me in for that?" But it was to, give him a hard time before giving him the news that he got to the Major Leagues.
That's awesome.
He got to the Major Leagues. He got a real number, not one of those high numbers a lot of rookies get, but
Yeah.
he said that he showed up early, put on his uniform, and was looking at himself in the mirror like little kids do before Little League. And he said Dusty Baker walked in, kind of looked at him, laughed, and said, "I knew you were going to be ready your first day in the big leagues."
That is awesome. I'm telling you, if you have a baseball fan in your life, buy the book. It's so good. It's so good. There's a million stories in there. It's called Called Up, and it's available everywhere.
Everywhere.
All right.
Yeah. Just Google search Called Up, Zack Ford. Even if you spell Zach wrong, it's still going to come up.
Fantastic.
But calledupproject.com, I have a bunch of different ordering options there.
All right, more from Little Fenway West coming up. Back to you guys.
I love this. And I love this for you today, Cody. This is like the best Friday that you could ever possibly have. It's perfect.
It's so fun.
I know it's like therapeutic,
Thanks,
just
Cody.
talking and throwing. Just
Yeah.
talking and throwing. I love it.